I know work has resumed now. I know that a lot of us want to be a part of this conversation. So Bukumi, will you please do me a favor and chat everyone up on the group that we are starting, so people can join, even though some of them are still at work, so that we can do this quickly and then we can get back to other stuff.
Yeah, all right.
Thank you. So, hi everybody, Blessing. Thank you for being here.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Ah, boy, I wish I could see your face.
I know, don't worry. I'm going to turn on video soon.
Oh, okay. So thank you for joining us. So we are a very large community in that we have sense in our head. we have a community of young, vibrant, and very intentional people. We believe in learning and growing and learning is one of the things that you talk about a lot. That was one of the reasons we're like, okay, so we've read This Is Marketing, we've argued a lot in the group, we've torn the book apart, we've asked ourselves different questions, and we just thought, what are we going to do to solidify? Because one of the things that Bukumi, Bukumi is like our senior president, she's the brain box behind all of this. One of the things she usually talks about is we are not just about reading, this is a generation where people think that amassing information, doing online courses and reading like 100 books in a year makes you like better or something, but it's really in the doing. It's really in the doing that that we get to become better people, better versions of ourselves, grow better versions of our careers. And so what we usually do is we read a book, discuss it, different times, different people. It's usually from different perspectives, and then we rub minds. We try as much as possible to bring the relevance of our present day and time into those books. And so we read This Is Marketing by Seth. Hi everyone. And some people that are quiet like this in this place, I know that you people start talking when Blessing start talking, but I know I'm waiting for some of you to come. That will not allow me to rest. Blessing, I stand. She's here now. She's here now. Come and talk, come and jump and all. So
how is it going to work? Are you guys going to just bombard me with all your thoughts and I'm going to be like the judge? Or am I going to share my thoughts? Or how is it going
to work? Share so it's going to be more conversational. Yeah, so what we are trying to do is we are trying to not bring like a set of questions and just say, so this place, what it says means. So this place, what can we do? We are trying to we'll try to have the conversation around it as much as possible. Yes. So and then people get to ask questions. Yeah, I know a lot of people have questions. People get to ask questions and then yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
yes, I can.
Okay, I can. All right. So that's how we are going to roll today. All right. So I'm going to get right into it. Everybody knows Blessing. I know everybody here knows Blessing. But I'll just do a quick introduction.
Hey, I feel like a celebrity.
I'm going to do a quick introduction of. I don't even think I can do it justice because but I'll just say one thing that I think is what's the word, consistent with your personal and professional brand that I have witnessed and experienced, and that's what I'm going to use. So I know that you are very, very important. You are very particular about growth, and you usually talk about it all the time. And we can't grow if we do not start. So you're also a preacher of starting, starting where you are, starting with what you have, and all of those things. So she's another thing about Blessing is that her portfolio is very rich. Blessing's portfolio is very rich. Not just from the people she has worked with, like the Disha or Ingressive for Good or MTN or all those big brands. Is really about how your career has transitioned from the very beginning to where it is now. And it's similar for a lot of young people like us, a lot of people in this community as well. Very diversified. Try your hands and grow and find out one thing or two things or three things that you just think, yeah, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is what I'm going to identify with. And I think is really rich. And that was that's the first thing I'm going to be talking about. So guys, if you're not talking, please let me unmute. If you want to talk, I'll just see you and I'll then you will mute and then you talk. Thank you. So that's the first question I'm going to ask. Coming from different backgrounds like that, how did you manage to find that one thing and say, oh, branding and communication, helping creators, helping creatives, this is what I'm going to stick to? Was it an epiphany? Was it a thunder?
Okay, guys, is it clear?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
I did a video with you guys.
Yes, please.
Video, and I started breaking.
Oh.
Let me try again. Let me know if you can hear me and see me. Can you see me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. Did them.
I know you're not gonna do that to me. You're not gonna do that. Hi everyone, this is me with my This is Marketing book. As proof that I read the book. Thank you. So guys, how are we going to do this? So I don't know where to start. You know, the book is as rich as you guys say it is. It's actually amazing. I enjoyed reading it. As you guys know, I love Seth Godin, and I have had the privilege of interviewing and talking to him. And it's even nicer that I can contact him anytime via email and he will answer me. So that is super dope. Oh my God. Making my brain like, so maybe if you have like very specific questions that you want to ask Seth, I might be able to help you ask. Maybe, I don't know. Okay. So let's get right into it. Okay, so when I read this book, I just figured that it was really, really in line with what Seth stands for, as in how he has always talked about marketing and how he has always redefined what marketing is to him or what it means to him. So where do I start? So how do you guys want us to do it? You know, because the book is very big. So should we tackle it one chapter at a time? Should we just summarize? How should we do it?
We can talk about the core theme of the book, like the most important things that we cannot miss, you know, in the book. Okay. The very important things that I really wanted us to get.
Okay, so I think that those things are they're just like five really. They're just like five key things that he really talked about. Number one had to do with how he emphasized customers and how he emphasized that like you need to find your smallest viable audience, which is something that I always preached before I even met him. It was like you can't talk to everybody. Nobody wants to be everybody else. Nobody wants to be like you guys, you know. We want to be called by name. We want to be like, hi, Toby, you know. We want to be able to say, hi, Adebola. We want to be able to say, hi, Blessing, or hi to me, and they speak to me. Nobody wants to just be like, all of you should go and do this. You know, there's nothing personal about that. It doesn't make you feel special. And when you buy things that are not necessarily like needs, because apparently what he even said made a lot of sense. That the only things you need in this life are food and water.
Yeah.
Hey, who is trying to distract me? Adebayo, why? Adebayo, mute, please.
Toby's on too. Toby, please, can you? Oh, yeah.
Okay. Toby, help us. Thank you. And so, Toby has not helped us yet. Okay, he has, or she has. So, one of the key things he talked about was like how the key is to understand. Oh my God. I can't do this. And may I say, can you guys help mute? Can you help mute him?
Yes, I have. So I'm going to unmute you now. Yes.
Thank you. Good. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, I was talking about how nobody wants to be like a crowd. Everybody wants to be seen. And to be honest, for you to be able to get to anybody, for you to be able to get people to spend their money, you need to be able to prove to them, especially when the thing you're selling is not really a need, because need includes food, water, oxygen. Those are needs. But other things are not necessarily need. Nobody, and he gave a very perfect example about if you're buying a MacBook or the latest MacBook, it's not because you need it, because you could have succeeded with another laptop. But there are other things that may have made you make that decision. And I like how he talked about emotions. I like how he talks about the second thing he talked about that I really, really love was how he said, oh, sorry guys, I'm super easy to distract with loud noise.
Sorry.
So help me a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the second thing that I really like that he talked about was marketers make change. And I think that was such an important and profound lesson, because it's all about change. You know, like you're not just selling and trying to shove things down people's throats. You're trying to either change their perspective. We're all selling. In fact, that's one of the most interesting things that I saw, where he said that you're not only selling soap, you're not only selling, you know, maybe you make food, you're not only selling food, you're selling way more than that. And that's something that a lot of people do not know. Like right now that I'm talking to you, I'm selling myself. And it might not be on purpose, but you know, you would form your opinion about me. You decide, do I want to follow her or not follow her? Do I want to be her friend or not be her friend? You know, we're constantly selling ourselves, selling our opinions, selling our ideas, selling our personality. And I like how he talked about marketing being change, like a tool for change, as opposed to just being like shoving things down people's throats. So I thought that was an amazing lesson. And I really hope that a lot of people learn that when they, like, marketers make change. And I already talked about customers being king, and how it's more important to study your customer, create something for them, as opposed to just creating something and then later trying to force it down your customer's throat. And one good example that I love to use all the time, you know, that Ford's that Ford quote, there's a quote by Henry Ford, that says, if I'd asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses.
Yes.
That thing is proof. That quote right there. Yeah, that quote is proof that people don't listen and people don't understand what listening means. So that was also proof that if you really listen to your customer, you'll be able to hear what they're saying and what they're not saying. If they had said faster horses, it's because horses were the only things that existed at the time. But what they really needed was something to take them from point A to point B faster. So it doesn't mean you have to go and make another horse that is fast. It just means if you make bicycle, we will buy. If you make airplane, we will buy. If you make disappearing device, we will buy. Anything you can do to get me from this point to that other point faster, I'm going to subscribe to it, right? And so I think your ability to listen also helps you keep your customer like on a certain level. And I liked the part where he talked about empathy being the heart of marketing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so much, really. Okay, so, and these are the reasons why I really like Seth. The idea that it shows that he thinks, you know, I don't know if any of you receive his daily letters. It shows that he thinks. It's like he sits with himself and has thoughts, or in the middle of conversation, he stumbles on thoughts that he has. And it's not lavish. It's not a very big out of the box, I'm going to break your head kind of thoughts. You know, it's just simple thoughts that he can put into human form that truly, truly makes sense. And yes, one time, one of the disagreements that even helped us start talking was when he said that he doesn't think personal brands are important, which is weird because he talks about branding in this book. And I was like, why don't you think that personal brands? I didn't say it like that, shall I? So you know, go and try. That's not how I said it. But I was like, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that personal brands are not important. I think personal brands are important. I don't think you're faking it if you're a personal brand, you know. And having a personal, he said, about the logo, it's not about the color. It's not about, it's like the authenticity that, you know, the authenticity about like who you really are, and the way you can make a promise is by actually being true to yourself, because you know the promise you're capable of keeping and the promise you're not capable of keeping. So I think I found that super, super interesting, like how he explained what your brand is, why it takes so much time to build a brand. I think you build a brand for a lifetime. Like, you never stop building a brand. I think, like, these are my thoughts, so people can argue with me. I like it when people argue, you know, like just come for me. I can handle it. And so I like how he explained the whole what your brand is, how you need to like make a promise and keep it emotional, you know, and if it's not something material, it can be emotional. What is your promise to your customers? Like, what is your brand? That was so emotional for me. I was just like, oh my God, this one is speaking my heart. And then I think this also gave me the lever to circle particular parts of the book, so I can send it back to him and say like, I thought you said personal brand is not that great. So why are you talking so passionately about branding? So I think that's the next thing I'm going to do. Thank you guys for the opportunity. So yeah, so please, if you have questions, come for me, ask me questions, let's discuss all the things that cause arguments. People should come and give me the gist. I don't know why you didn't add me to your WhatsApp group when you were reading, but I'm here now. Oh yeah. Wait, one more thing. I really like chapter 5 where he talked about the search for better. And it went in accordance with a conversation that I've had on my Instagram before about how you're the best for someone and you're not necessarily the best for everybody. Like, everybody has their best depending on where they are in life. You know, like when you're a teenager, your best designer is not necessarily your current best designer. The people that you probably, the things that you found best then are not necessarily what you find best now. You know, your best food may have changed, your best brand may have changed, your best phone may have changed, you know, and it changes per level, it changes per your goals, changes per your class, your environment. So many things affect what you define as best. So everybody has a chance to succeed, you know, if you can only look for the person that is for you, as opposed to trying to target everybody. I think it would be stupid if somebody starts cement business now and goes, oh, Dangote is my target market. Except that person is a third dollar. Really. And a foreign company, maybe Julius Berger, they can do that. But you and me as one human beings who want to do small business, and we now say, oh, we found a new formula for cement and our target market is Dangote. Dangote will buy our business from under our legs. We'll not even know. Or you can't just negotiate with the government and create a policy that will destroy us. I would not even be able to start before. So sometimes also pay attention to, are you really comparing yourself? Like, your competition that you're looking at, is it really the right competition to look at? And you shouldn't, the only thing I think competition is for is to benchmark where you are in the industry, to be able to say, okay, this is why my customers prefer this person, and this is the market share that person has, and this is what that person has been able to do. You know, this is what the person is doing right, this is what the person is doing wrong. But I don't think that as you keep going down the journey, you have to always be looking, like, be running and then looking like, oh my God, what is my competition doing? I think that's one of the things that's killing our telcos in Nigeria. The fact that they're always, like, you know, the fact that they're always comparing themselves to each other and then copying. And I think Airtel was able to get themselves out of that. Yes. And so now look at them being market leaders. So always keep your eye on your customer or your smallest viable audience, and then only benchmark in the beginning or do performance like every day watching your competitors. Instead, watch your clients every day, every minute of the day, every second of the day, blah blah blah. I like the community conversation as well, leading the tribe, but I feel like I'm talking too much and I don't like talking alone. So join me, my people.
Okay, so let me ask one question, right? So when Seth was talking about marketing in 5 stages, you know, he mentioned some of the things that you have mentioned, you know, inventing a product that is worth somebody's time and then a story that is worth telling, you know, and then he said something that we, especially small business owners, startups, people still are dating, you know, a lot of us that are trying to just come out of our more the tight space, I know, have a breakthrough for our name, for our brands, or the products or services we are trying to build. We have issues with consistency. And he said is the most overlooked step, showing up every day, showing up consistently, showing up with the same attitude, giving what you promised that you're going to give. And I don't know, I've heard lots of aspire to respirate about it, showing up, showing up, showing up. You just have to show up. But it's not easy showing up, especially when it seems like things are not working, or people are not, they're not seeing your brand the way you want it to be seen. What would you say small businesses and young people trying to build a product or a service or even their personal brand, how do they show up consistently without
So I
breaking
think
down,
that the
having a
problem with
mental?
consistency in general. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
okay. So I think that the problem with consistency in general is that people don't understand it. It's like what we think consistency is versus, like, if I ask you what do you think consistency is, you might think is that you have to do it every day, every day, every day at the same energy, like every time, every time, every time, forever.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and that's not true. There's a difference between consistency and also discipline. What consistent, and I keep giving this story. What consistent are so many things. Like, people, you wake up every morning and you brush your teeth. How come? Is that not consistency? Like, you wake up every morning and you bath. How come? You know to sleep at night and you sleep most nights. How come? How are you consistent at doing these things, but you can't just be consistent at something else, right? That you think is important to you and your well-being. I think first things first, you need to first identify, what am I trying to get out of why am I doing it? Because if you don't, it might not necessarily, you might not feel any ginger or inspiration or motivation to be consistent. Nobody motivates you to brush your teeth now. But you know that if you don't brush your teeth, you're going to feel a certain kind of way. You may not be able to talk to some people, like you may not just be comfortable with how your mouth is by yourself. Nobody's telling you, just you, just not comfortable. And this has with just people judging you, but also you judging yourself, right? So what do you feel any discomfort when you have to ask yourself, will I feel any discomfort if I don't do this thing? Like, for some people, it's a life or death matter, like imagine if you had a very sick person in your family and you needed to provide money. Oh, no, I'm even going far. Imagine if you had children and you knew that you had to feed them. If you don't feed them, they'll cry, they'll be uncomfortable, and that discomfort, you can't handle it. Will you roll in bed and still be like, today is not the day, I don't feel like. When you wake up, you just be like, my child has to eat. And so it inspires you. So number one, just know why exactly you're doing it. Don't do it for somebody else. Don't do it because everybody is doing it. Have your goals for yourself. I also noticed that people have goals. I noticed that people have goals for other people, or maybe because Netflix said in maybe House of Cards that if you have big house, that's when you're rich. Or you watched one movie like that, maybe you watched Billions, and you realize that, maybe the only way to show wealth is to be drinking Fiji water. And so now the only water I want to be drinking is Fiji water. You will kill yourself. You just have to decide what you like.
Yeah.
And when you want something, why do I want this thing? Some people don't want to get married, but they don't know. They're just marrying because society is saying everybody must marry. So people don't want to have children, don't have because the world is pressuring you. Like, just ask yourself, why do I want these things? And like, I know I'm using very personal examples, but I'm saying just reflect on why you want the things that you want, and it's going to help you like greatly in trying to define like your why and your motivation, right? That's one. Number two, the second problem I noticed with consistency is that when you're, and this is a perfect example, like I feel like if you follow me on Instagram, you already know this example. When you brush your teeth on Monday, brush your teeth on Tuesday, then Wednesday, maybe you overslept and then somebody gave you biscuits or something like food. Somebody brought food in bed for you. I just jumped up and started eating, and then you went about your day and you forgot to brush your teeth on Wednesday. Does it mean that you should just stop brushing your teeth forever? I don't know. Like, because that's what really happens when people say, okay, I'm going to post content consistently for the next 30 days. Then day 12, they miss it. Guess what? They now feel too ashamed. Like, oh my God, what will people say? Oh, I'm not going to do this again. And they now use shame and hide. Instead of you to come back and post on day 13 or post 2 posts on 13 to make up for the ones that you missed. So that is another issue that people have with consistency. They think that when you miss out, the world is too busy judging you. So because you're ashamed, you should run and hide under the cave. But that's not how life works. Whenever, with consistency, if you miss a day, you don't give up. You just continue. You just keep doing it. Of course, Seth Godin misses a day. Of course, I miss a day. In fact, you can miss a day. It's okay. You can even take a break. You can take a day's break or 2 days break or 1 week break, but keep yourself accountable and don't just use the break as an excuse to now be lazy and just lazy around and deceive yourself. You can always come back when you're ready. And the last thing that I noticed is that people don't plan consistency. They plan everything else, but they don't plan consistency. And this is something that Seth also taught me, right? You don't just say, like, once you wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to post for 30 days, you are making a promise. So now it's up to you to say, how do I ensure that I post for 30 days? Exactly. And so that might just mean that in the first 2 days, you're going to create the whole content for 30 days and maybe schedule it, maybe just be posting because you've already done the hard work, or maybe hire somebody to do the work for you if you have the money. But the main point is you need to plan your consistency. Don't just flimsily just say, I want to start doing this. Imagine if Google used to take naps. Like, Google is like, oh, today I'm not in the mood to be a search engine for you. Like, I'm gonna rest. How do you feel? Like, imagine if, what am I going for? Imagine if your bank just wakes up one day, just like, dear Toby, since Toby was telling us before, dear Toby, I don't feel like being your bank anymore. I need a break. Will you find it funny? Like, hey, God, that's my app is my money. So you need to plan, and that's what they've been able to do. You plan your consistency. It means that some people are going to fall sick along the way. Great, but when you fall sick, what happens? Have you automated the process? Have you found a tech solution to be able to ensure that, like, Anchor, for example, for people who do podcasts, Anchor FM allows you, Anchor.com or Anchor.fm allows you to schedule your podcast. So if you want to do 30 days of podcasting, you can actually record all your 30 podcasts ahead of time and schedule it. And you'll be lounging in your bed and your podcast will be playing. And people will be like, oh my God, so consistent. Oh my God, I can't believe it. But here you were, only recording only in 1 day, So guys, plan your consistency, automate where you can. Also ensure that you don't make promises that you can't keep. Like, if you're about to make a promise, just ask yourself, what are the things I'm going to do to be able to achieve this promise, and who do I need help from to be able to make this? Yes, Toby, I'm attacking you. Can you feel it? Yes. So who do I need? Whose help do I need to make this promise happen, and who can keep me accountable? And I think that's totally going to help you with consistency. Don't aspire to expire. Somebody just told me that recently, though. Don't aspire to expire consistency. Just like plan it, continue when you miss it, and keep yourself accountable and automate. Yeah, that's it. Ask me more questions.
Guys, you can ask questions in the chat box, and Blessing is looking at it so she can also answer.
No, I don't want to look at it. Like, I want to hear voices. Like, either I hear your voice.
Oh, okay. So if you have any question, or you have a thought, or you want to share an idea with Blessing or something, you can just let me know. I will mute you, and you can interact with her directly. Okay. So while we wait for those people to come out of their shells, so there's something that bothers me a little when I keep learning that marketing and storytelling is really about the promise, the brand experience, what you can deliver is human-centered. It's about your customer. It's about them knowing that you care about them. And you've reiterated that too here. And me, because I'm young, I need to make money, right? And I know a lot of people in this community too. More than doing all these things, showing up, we want to make money. So where does the line meet each other? After a long period of consistency, providing value, showing up every time for your people, showing up with caring for them, eating your goals, planning all these wonderful things. when does the moon start rolling in? Because
It should
sometimes it
start
always
coming immediately now. As in, I didn't mutually exclusive. I mean,
it always feel
I
like,
don't.
please, am I alone in this? Because okay, I can't be alone in this. You people
Yeah,
should
you
talk to
may be
me.
alone oh, because I cannot relate to this challenge you're having. Okay, so key things that I noticed is that some people don't know. So for me, for example, I make money from Instagram, but that's not my primary source of income. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
I know that Instagram is not where I eat my bread from, like for sure. I mean, I can turn off my Instagram for 2 months. In fact, 1 year, and I'll be fine. Like I will. Oh God, I'll probably be fatter self because I won't lose weight. However, I know that the reason why I use Instagram and I share content and do all those things on Instagram is just so that I can help people, who probably would not have been able to afford me in a normal, like on a normal day,
Yeah. Yeah.
access me and then, ask me questions and share knowledge for free. So I won't like, I will give value, give value, give value, but it's not a priority to make money for me. However, if it was a priority to make money for me, or times where I want to make money, I know that, oh, guys, I am doing a mini training. And
Oh,
this mini
okay.
training is work. Like this mini training is for money. Like
It's
this
not
is the
free
price.
value.
It's
Mm-hmm.
not free value. Free value is on my Instagram. So when people DM me and they're like, oh, hi, Blessing. How are you? I'm like, oh, fine. They're like, oh, Blessing. So I want branding. I'm like, take branding now. Like, branding you want. Take it.
I think
So I'm like,
one.
so I'm like, take branding, right? And I'm like, these are the 4 ways you can benefit from me. One, DIY. And I put DIY in bracket, I write free. If you like, text me, DM me and say, Blessing, I need branding. You see it. DIY in bracket, I write free. Then that free is go through all the posts that I've ever posted. And if you have very specific questions, you can ask me or book for my consultations, depending on how
Mm-hmm.
the questions are. So my consultation now is what? Paid.
Paid.
Because it obviously means that you don't want to do the work, or maybe you need deeper guidance. So, and this at this point, I might need to be thinking for you, and giving you very boutique, not boutique self, personalized responses.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm giving you personal, where you are now subcontracting me, outsourcing your thinking to me. You have to pay me. Then the second level, which is the consultation now, is like, oh, we could have this one-on-one consultation, and you could tell me your problems as your problems are. I won't give you general answers. I will give you answers for your problem.
Custom fit.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what happened. This is the place that you made a mistake, and then this is what you can do to solve it. I recently just had a client who consulted with me. When we're done consulting, she was like, you know what, Blessing, I hear you. Now, the beautiful thing about consultation is when I finish, it's still you that go and do your work. My own job is just to be
Yeah.
like writing prescription. You are the one that will go and look for the
Mm-hmm.
pharmacy. You're the one that will swallow the drug. It's only you. But me, I'm just going to write prescription, and prescription on the pay hand. It doesn't take anything from me to just give you, go and do this, go and do this, go and do this. Because I know that the things that I'm prescribing for you to do in 1 hour might take you many days to do. Do you get my point? So
Yeah.
I now take it to the next level, which is,
Yes, I
let
do.
me do your strategy for you. I can do your brand strategy, but brand
Mm.
strategy is this amount. And that is way more expensive, like over 6 times the price of me and you doing one-on-one consultation.
Oh,
Then if I
consulting.
say,
Yeah.
yes, and that strategy is like, I am creating the map for you. I'm not doing the work yet, though. Like the only work I'm doing is to give you a map so that you can do it by yourself again, but
If
still,
you
like
want to.
it will be easier for you. Like now you have a map, you don't have to figure it out by yourself. So you are now going to execute by yourself. Then finally, I now have the one that is, I think, more than 10 times the price of consultation, which is, I'll do the map for you, but I'll still execute a little bit, not even all, because I don't want to kill myself. I still execute a little bit with my team for you. So now me, I'm very clear that these 4 different stages are the different ways that I can touch your life.
Mm.
Do you see?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
these are like the 4 different ways. Like if you want branding, these are 4 ways you can get it. And they're very rarely, sometimes I'll not be like, okay, you know what, guys, I'm going to have a class so that I can train you on how you can do it. And I will be willing to answer personalized questions as well. So I can now give you like that one for cheaper, but then more people can come in, and then it's like a group session. So what I would have naturally spent 1 hour on only you to do, I can now do for 20 people, 100
At the same time.
for 50 people, and I still make the same amount of money. So one of the first things that I learned that you need to do is determine what are my, like, first things first, what are my financial goals, right? When you're done with all this creative, emotional, storytelling, cute stuff, what are my financial goals? What do I need for me to be able to consistently deliver this value at a level that is, you know, substantial for my audience? I gave one example recently in a conversation. I need a private jet. I don't know if you do, Debola, but I do. I need a private jet because Third Mainland Bridge, you know, Third Mainland Bridge is closed. There's traffic everywhere. Lagos is hot, and it would be nice, you know, to just go for meetings in 15 minutes. Just leave my house and just get to where I need to go. But I don't have private jets. And that doesn't stop private jet people from, like, they will not be like, oh, Blessing, geez, we love your Instagram page. We love how you share content. So once we reduce the price of private jet to 100K for you, they're not going to do that, you know, because the cost of producing a private jet is not cheap. Do you get where I'm coming from? So of course, tell your stories. Of course, build your community, but have goals for every single thing you're doing. If your plan is, I'm going to tell stories, it's great, but how many customers do you need when you're done telling stories? And this is also another mistake a lot of social media people and marketing people make. It's like, for you to, the business needs maybe 20 customers to be able to make it every month. While you're doing your storytelling and everything, you know, you probably have to tell stories to 2,000 people so that by the time it shrinks, it becomes 20. But even when you're telling stories to these 2,000 people, you're still going to give them personalized treatment. You're still going to create things that they can relate with. So I think maybe I should even use Disha as an example. So managing, when we're doing comms for Disha, it was super simple. We had plans. One of our KPIs was we wanted to have a certain number of customers by the end of the year. We've already surpassed the goal. So we wanted to have a certain number of customers by the end of the year. But what these customers, what are their problems? Their creators, what do they need? Beyond just our products, what kind of information can we give them that would be beneficial? So when we teach people about, oh, this is how you can collaborate, they're excited, they share, they talk about it, and they're like, oh my God, Disha loves me. But out of those maybe 700 people who share it, maybe 100 people would open free accounts. And then after those 100 people, maybe 10 people would pay for pro. Do you see? So at the end of the day, we still have money to pay salaries, to feed people, to eat, so that we can keep creating value for the people who need it. So don't, like, mentally have your financial goals as a company or as an individual. I say, this is the amount that I need to make. Then have, maybe if you want, you could have categories to say, for me to be able to address these people, this is what I'm going to be doing for free as per marketing. This is the free thing that I'm going to be doing. But these are how these free things that I'm doing are going to funnel down into conversions for me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
And then have conversion goals. These are the things that I need to achieve by the end of the month. These are the number of people that I need to get by the end of the month. And so in your conversion funnel, you know, and I think I talked about this on Instagram as well. I shared it now, like at the awareness phase, people don't know your name, but they're looking for solutions to their problems. Yes, go and check that post. It will totally help you. Like with that funnel, you'll be able to know awareness. Okay, at the point of awareness, I need to be giving people solutions to their problems. At the point of interest, I need to be informing and educating them about me and all the things that I do and my solutions and everything. At the point of desire, I need to be convincing them to make them see that, okay, these are testimonials of things that I've done back to back, you know, these are my collaborations, these are things, like I know my stuff. And then at the point of purchase, you're like, okay, these are the different things you can purchase, and these are the different prices for the different types of people that you think you want to, you know, reach out to. And then these are the things you get for being part of my community. Like, give extra perks. People in my community now are enjoying free Coursera course.
Like me.
You know? Yeah, like you. Oh my God, you have to DM me later and give me your gist. Yeah, so, but like, that's my point. I'll give people perks, but like, just for being in my community, you know, you deserve this thing from Facebook, you deserve this from Coursera, you deserve this from Microsoft. I'll give it to you for free. That's life. And that's how you stay with me till the day you finally decide that you want to buy something. Does that help? I talked long on this topic. Ask me questions, guys. Ask me.
Okay, so Isaac is, okay, let me unmute Isaac. He's the first person that raised up it. And I think he has something to say. Isaac, are you there?
Yes, I am. Hello, guys.
Okay. Hi.
Hi,
Yeah.
Isaac.
Yep. Yes. So I'm just going to backtrack us a little bit. You said something that I resonated with, and I wanted to just, to riff off of it. You were citing every Ford's quote and how that he he said
If
if
you
he had
ask
asked people
people, yeah.
for their needs and stuff, they would have wanted faster horses and the likes. And you said something that really made sense. The ability to listen, well, and I think it works for business owners, it works for creators, and basically anybody that wants to solve a problem. And one thing I got from what you were saying was the fact that you listen and listen well, and listen well in the sense that people naturally know the symptoms, or they can fairly describe their needs. And what you do as the business person or the creator is to look for dimensions to solve that need that might transcend their own knowledge of how the need might be met. I don't know if that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
totally, it
yeah,
does. It does.
yeah, because naturally the
So
people want to move.
it's just
They wanted
remembering
to.
that they don't know okay, continue, finish.
Okay.
I
So,
should let you finish.
yeah. The people wanted to move faster, and all they could understand at that point in time was to have a faster horse. I mean, that's all they could think of. But what Henry Ford did was to take that need, understand the basic core of that need, and try to flesh out, think of various dimensions to arrive at that change, basically. And there you have what I thought. So I think listening to you, that was what I reflected on, and that's what came to mind, that even as creators, as business
Oh,
owners, there might be a
good.
lot of needs, and you just need to understand the core, and to bring creativity into that, just find as much dimensions that can even wow the person that has the need, that wow, I never knew this would be solved this particular way. I mean, and it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, that's what that.
Oh, I'm so glad you picked that up. And there's another dimension to even that particular topic. I used to have there's this very unique client of mine that I really love. Um, I did a job for her and it was super perfect. Like she just kept talking about me and talking about me and talking about me. And she was like, "Oh, Blessing, I have an emergency, come and do another work for me." And so because we we're under a very tight schedule, we didn't follow the usual process. So something that could have taken us 21 days ended up we had to do it in 7 days, right? So here we were trying to do something in 7 days. And every time we sent her suggestions, she'll be like, "No, I hate everything. I don't want anything. Like they're all bad. No." And so me understanding that, which led me to one of these thoughts, which I now say all the time, is your client may not be able to articulate their problem, but they know what their problems are. So it's now up to you to understand it or listen or help them vomit that problem. And so I was just like digging deeper and asking, and that is also one of the powers of asking the right questions. So we now had to ask, like, okay, so what don't you really like? And she was like, she doesn't even know what she doesn't like, but she doesn't like it. Then we now sent a couple of colors that, okay, see what your competition is doing, or as in sorry, international and global people are doing. Do you think it resonates? And she's like, I get why they're doing it, but that's not what I want. And then we're like, okay, so is it the color? Is it the date? Just tell me. And then we later found out that the reason she didn't really like it was because she was trying to move from her previous, like there's one of her brands that she's really associated with, and that one already had a color green in it. And so she didn't want
Okay.
people to still associate this new brand with that brand.
That's him. Yeah.
So every time she saw green, the thing just threw her off.
Oh.
So when we now give her like in other colors, she was like, "Oh, what did you do? What did you do?" And we're like, it's the same thing, just in a different color. And then she was like, "Oh, okay, it was the color, yeah." And then because we kept probing, we could pick the problems. Like when she's venting and talking, we were listening enough to say, "Okay, I think this is the problem. This is what she doesn't like." And then we also noticed that she didn't like that we were literally interpreting the name. So she wanted us to not literally interpret the name. And so she had said she want, like it was a complicated thing, but because we were actually really listening, we're able to pick out these things within a 1 hour call, like of her venting and venting and venting. Then we're not able to say, "Oh, I think this is what she's trying to say. And that takes patience, because your own reaction might be to vex and return the money. Like, what is it, safe? The woman does not know what she wants. But she does. It's just that she doesn't know how to articulate it. And another kind of mine, we did a presentation template for her, and she was just really upset. She was like, I don't like it. This thing is not working. We later found that she just thought it looked too simple. And so when we just added like a small pattern in the background, it wasn't even plenty, small pattern like this to the background, and changed the colors, she was not excited. Blessing, I love this one. What did you do? We're like, what did you add a background do? And she's like, yeah, that the other one was too plain. It was like, we not put any effort. Do you get? And so like, just actually listening to them as they're complaining and make them complain. In fact, like, poke them with questions so that they can actually complain. The more they complain, the more you can pick out what the pain points really are. And never just like come into a conversation feeling like you're the overall knower or mini knower, you know the problem more than the owner of the problem. And then like, oh, this is how it has to be. Never do that. Always remember that, yes, I know people say your customer is always right. What they really mean is that your customer is right about their pain. So if you can listen, you can help them achieve their goals while also achieving your goals. And that's really how innovation even happens, your ability to listen, do what they want and still do what you want and be excellent without necessarily compromising your standards or things like that. There is a middle ground. Yeah. I feel like I just preached.
Glory.
I'm collecting offerings, guys.
Oh, read one. You're here. Do you have something to say, or you're still at work? Read one is one of our most. I don't think there's any book here. Okay, yeah, maybe we'll read that fiction. Read one is one of our very versatile community member. There's hardly any book that it doesn't strongly contribute to. I didn't even think it was going to make it because they said it was going to be at work, but it's very committed.
Please make it. Come and talk to me. Please come and say hi. Come and say hello.
So, guys, the chat session is still open, and you can ask like direct questions. I know a lot of us. Another thing about our community, which is very exciting, is that a lot of us are from different walks of life, and we have a lot of entrepreneurial people. So I know they have like very personal. We don't say this that we can't talk right now. We can rest assured I'm following the conversation. Yeah. So a lot of people. Okay, we have another person. Sheg is here. Let me see if I can. Okay.
Talk to me, guys. Please talk to me.
Okay, so Sheg, are you there? Can you speak?
Hey, Shegun. You need to unmute.
Hi. Yes,
okay.
Hi. I'm about to go back to bed soon. I'm sorry. I just wanted to ask this question real quick. It was nice. I've been following along with your conversation, and it's been really interesting. I started using this year after so many times. Adebola was like, "Get this."
Yes, it's me. It's me that helped you.
And one of the things I wanted to ask is, with regards to this year, I know you did mention. There were a few things you do is you try to reach out, let's say your goal is to get 20 clients, you try to reach out to about 2,000 clients and then a few of them will probably get the free subscription and maybe 20 just decide to go with the paid subscription and all. So my question is, what's your outlet for marketing? I know you're doing a good job with your nurturing content and stuff. And okay. For me now, I'm a photographer, and one of the things I usually do for my marketing content is to offer people free engagement sessions. It's the same thing as pre-wedding photographs, and that way they can get into my marketing funnel. I can talk to them on Instagram, on Facebook, send them email series and stuff like that. But one of the problems I've always had right now is getting people to actually sign up for the free engagement session.
Okay, I guess that much.
And
okay,
maybe 30-something people decide to go on my landing page. Only 3 people or 4 people, decide to like actually fill the form. Maybe because of the terms and conditions and stuff like that. I just wanted to know, how do you usually get more people to like at least take a step of faith or something?
Well, how did you even decide that like free engagements was the way to get your clients? Like, what kind of people are your target market? Do you only do wedding photographs?
Oh yes.
Like, what's your best-selling photography?
Right. I don't only do wedding photography. I actually do portraits, but wedding photography is kind of like where I'm focusing on. And I'm actually in a community of other photographers, and we use the same, kind of like the same methods to get clients and people to get into our funnels. And a lot of people have actually had success stories with it. And right now I started doing a lot more different. I took a different approach to it because I realized people watch videos than read blog posts and stuff like that. So I started doing videos and getting people to engage.
What country are you in?
I'm in the US, Houston, Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I realized because like whatever solution I'm going to give you may not necessarily be like, I needed to know where you were so that I'll be able to give you a sensible solution. So like you said, with Disha, for example, our strategy is not, I was using the 2020 thing as an example. So that's not our strategy. Our main strategy and how we really get the people that sign up was by community. We noticed, look at Adebola was the one who told you about Disha. Yeah, it didn't matter how many times we posted content to you. Okay. You know, she had to be the one to like make noise and say, join, you know, you must have Disha. And then you were the one, like, because somebody in your community told you do this, you were more interested in doing it. And the person could actually follow up and insult you. And sorry, I used insult, but the person could insult you and, you know. Yes, and then, you know, and because,
wow, okay.
Exactly. And because the person is in your community, you know, it's easier for the person to convince you than it would be for us strangers to tell you go and use Disha, no matter what we say, really, to be honest. And we noticed that most people who are using Disha were using it out of peer pressure as well. So when you open like 10 creators pages and you see Disha, you get curious, right? And so what we then did was we built strategic partnerships with community leaders and communities in general, right? And then just added that to content creation because we noticed that our creators are super crazy about content. And so if we create content that is valuable to them, they're going to share the content. And at the last page, it's like, oh, get Disha, or example of a Disha person who has, you know, those kind of things, right? So that was our strategy because that's how creators behave. It might not necessarily work for you, right? Because your target market is different. But now I know a lot of photographers in Nigeria and abroad, and these are a couple of things that different ones have done. Very, very different strategies, right? The very first one that I like is Bedge. Bedge Wedding, I don't know if you know him. Bedge's strategy was very, very simple. Oh my God. He understood that a lot of influencers, I don't even know if he knew he was doing it, but he understood that a lot of influencers already have like a filter for their page. Okay. Right? So they have a filter, they have a look and feel for their page. And so even if those people were going to get married, they would want the wedding and the vibe and everything to flow with that filter. Right? So he had his number of wedding shots he would give. He would add an extra, like a free shoot for you for your, I think, traditional wedding or something like that. He had a package like that if you're doing white wedding package with him, he's going to give you a free traditional wedding photo shoot, which is seemingly important. Actually, not seemingly, because in Nigeria, you must do traditional wedding. Or at least 90% of the people will do traditional wedding. So it's nice. You feel like it's value for your money. But in reality, he has already charged it inside the money. That makes sense. So, and then he also adds, like, he tells you the number of shots you're going to get and everything. So you will not send him the brief. But what now happened for his own marketing was a lot of influencers, I am Dodos, Claydera, all these influencers that had 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 followers were posting small thing badge from people who had 10,000, 50,000, 60,000 followers. And those people often have a lot of people who are coming under them who want to look like them or have feeds like them or have jiggers. And then Bella Nigeria always follow these kind of people who also have followers and post their pictures. And so when Bella Nigeria wedding posts badge, maybe you see 12 posts by Bella Nigeria, and that's badge. It means he's the one in vogue. Just like makeup artists for weddings now. If everybody puts flawless by James, flawless faces by James, flawless faces by James. Most people are going to want to do flawless faces by James because it means they're coming highly recommended by industry experts, right? That was Benji's strategy. Now, Big H has a whole different strategy.
How do you spell the name again? I'm sorry, I just want to write that down real quick.
Bedge, B-E-D-G-E. B-E-D-G-E.
Okay.
B-E-D-G-E, Bedge.
Okay.
Yes. So the second person I like is, in fact, no, let's talk about Emmanuel Oyeleke. Emmanuel Oyeleke is he's more of a fashion, yes, he's more of a fashion photographer. But his money maker is not really fashion photography. It's corporate clients, right? So he would have partnerships with, not partnerships. His clients will be like GT Bank, but he'll take pictures of their like style and covers and things like that. And because he was taking so many pictures of GT will post, tag him, magazines, they'll give him credit. Then maybe he'll have to work a lot with models, like maybe elite models, You'll not see all his pictures. And then the next time he wants to do like a shoot for Diola Sego. I mean, maybe Diola Sego wants to do a shoot. She's going to be like, it's Emmanuel Oyeleke I want. And so more people would keep seeing Emmanuel in luxury shoots. Also, pay attention to the fact that Emmanuel, not every shoot Emmanuel does is paid. There are times he just says, you know what, I want to create something. And then he would partner with all these photographers, or he would do training. He had partnerships with like Canon. He had partnerships with Canon. He had partnerships with a lot of photography. GDS is like, if Canon recommends you, like who are we not to snap, like use you to snap picture?
Use you.
Like if the camera maker is saying that you are the person that has their camera business, we will pay. Like when you tell us 3 million, we'll be like, it's painful, but we shall pay. So I'm giving you these examples because these are different strategies, right? But they all work. So you have to think about the type of people you want to target, because you can't snap everybody. The type of people that you want to snap, the international people, would it benefit you? There's also another photographer that I know. He gets all of his gigs by partnering with event companies. So whenever that event company has a gig,
this is my idea.
Them, do you understand?
I've told you before.
Whenever that event company has a gig, they are going to call him. He's like, for that don't cut corners, and it's going to be more money. But if you go through the event company, it's like a more affordable price because he didn't have to stress to get the gig, right? So there's that. Then there's also, oh my God, there's so many examples. There's also Big H's style. Big H's style has my heart. Big H was so busy teaching other photographers. And because he has taught so many photographers, you know what happens? And Chris Mason, Big H and Chris Mason. So because they have taught so many photographers, they've taught the life out of the photographers. All these photographers are always posting them, right? All these other photographers are like, oh, God bless Big H. Oh, God bless Prince Mason. And they're always just talking about them. And because they're always talking about them, it's like, why should I go to
you that is talking about somebody that is
when I just go to the person that you are talking about. Like, do you understand? Have you just done for the sake of doing? How many people have you collaborated with? Which people in the wedding industry have you said, okay, these are the people that I want to partner with? See Annie Roberts. Annie Roberts is consistently, Annie uses price as his thing, but he knows he has extreme skills in Photoshop, and people like how Annie's portraits are. So Annie is always going to, like, he will do shoots to show you his portrait skills. And then when you see those things, you think, oh, maybe he got paid for it. He didn't get paid for all. But because he was able to do those things, as per, let me show you what I can do. Then all those people now post it. Somebody else will now see it and say, oh, Annie, how much do you charge for da-da-da-da-da-da? So you need to learn to collaborate more with other photographers, which is why I said, just leave this competition matter alone. Collaborate more with other photographers. Their followers will know you, you will know their followers. Find other team members to grow with. Like if you have a community around you, maybe you have a standard makeup artist, like your makeup artist is standard, just the way Flawless Faces by Jane is always using a particular guy for hair. Anytime you see that Flawless Faces by Jane, you see that guy's hair. Like, consistently.
Always
hand in hand. Is like, You can't do without. Chudi, my guy. Chudi is a portrait guy. He loves portraits. But how he grew was he partnered with. So he took a lot of. He became Tony Lumilu's official photographer because he showed his skill, his ability. He was doing a couple of jobs for UBA, and then Tony Lumilu was like, "I really like your work." And then he started doing taking Lumilu's official portraits, right? And so wherever they talk about Lumilu, sometimes they mention him, and so people are like, "Oh, if you can be a billionaire's photographer, you could probably be my own photographer too." And so he keeps, dishing. So all I can say is find a niche, the kind of people you want to focus on. It doesn't mean you would do other types of photography, but let's know you for something. See, everybody I've called now, they're all known for at least one thing first before we talk about everything else that they're good at. So find your niche, decide what that niche is going to be, research your audience, what motivates them. Are they motivated by Bella Niger? Are they motivated by Vogue? Are they motivated? What are they motivated by? Those things they're motivated by. How can you partner with people around that space, around that sphere that will give you access to the things that they're motivated by? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. Thank you so much.
Yeah. So I hope that helps you. If it doesn't, consultations are available.
Okay, thank you so much, Blessing.
Sure, gotcha.
Thank you. So so more people. Okay, so
Uju. Don't worry, I'm here with you guys. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Uju, can you? Okay, I think, Uju, you're good, right?
Yes, I am. Hello,
Blessing. Yeah, my first lady. Woo!
It was actually, in fact, it was mind blowing listening to you. I mean, like I'm just talking. I'm like, what have I been doing with my life? But anyway, it's okay. So I like what you do, and you seem to already have mastered your industry really well. So I'm here to learn at your feet. I'm following you already, and I would just like to ask a question now. So okay, so some of us are doing stuff that is not really like business. Now, this thing is, I love to create content around politics, but it's not. It's something I like doing. In fact, I think that I even enjoy it more than my work. Like it's a work that pays me, But the thing is, it's something I want to do for
what's your work?
Long term. I like to offer such a value, and
What's your normal work?
Okay, so I create content. I'm a pharmacist, but I do product marketing too, and then sometimes I do branding. Hello, Blessing.
Only you.
Rich portfolio, rich.
I'm here. I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you still hear me?
I'm trying to survive in Nigeria. Yes, I can. Hello.
We can hear you too.
Blessing, can you hear me? All right, thank you.
I can hear you.
Okay, so the thing is, so for such, all right, so for such things that are.
Uju, are you there?
Okay, what's it?
Uju, we cannot hear you.
Come back to us, Uju. Come back to us for such things that are. Okay,
are you sure?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Perfect. Now we can hear you.
All right. So I was saying for things that are not like sell a product and get paid immediately for it, or sell a direct service and get paid for it immediately. How do you position yourself to earn from it? Because I mean, I would not, since this is like something I love doing, I would not mind getting paid for it. So how do I'm having challenges really in this regard. I think that I have branded several times, trying to position myself to start earning from it, but it's not right now. I'm just giving out content right now. I'm just
Is this your personal brand? Is
it
your personal brand, or you went to create a business for it?
I created a page, a separate page for it.
Yeah, separate page, but like, is it like, how do you handle that separate page? Do we see your face? Do people know your name?
No, just people that already know that I'm the one running it. So there's no personal connection.
Why?
To it so far. So it's just content.
Did you want to stay anonymous?
Well, Yes, because it's not for me. I don't see a difference whether I put my face there or not. For me, what matters is that people are getting what they're
No, there's
I may be
difference.
wrong.
The
So
difference.
no, there's difference. Let me
There's plenty
say,
Oh,
difference.
really? Please educate.
plenty. There's so many. Oh, there's so many different sleeves. So if
Okay,
you want
so
to be like an anonymous politician, commenter, something individual, that in like people who care about politics can come and share their conversations with you, you know, build a whole politics community. That's different from if you are not a human being at all. Like, I mean, you are a human being, but like you are not a human being on the page. And then it's like we're just all different people from different spheres, you know, coming together to have conversations and gist, you know, it's just a community. And that's also different from we're a company who have these thoughts and ideas and want to share them with you. Depending on which three you're doing, it will affect what type of income stream you want to create.
all right. Oh, it's
So if
not
you're an
like
individual, okay, go first.
it's not like it's rigid for me that my personality should not reflect on the page. But for now, I'm just the thing is okay. So now the struggle is I'm still rising. I'm still trying to find my place in the society. I'm even trying to survive
We're
financially.
all
So
rising
I
now.
don't
Am I
so
not
I don't
rising?
feel so I don't really feel like it.
Would you've dropped off? Or is it me?
Would you?
Okay.
Would you? You're off. Oh, she's off.
Ooh, Jill, ooh, 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 ooh. Are you back?
Yes,
I
I
don't think.
can hear you all the while.
Oh,
Okay,
okay, sorry.
you
Wow.
went off for a
Rihanna, I
while.
sang your name. Did you hear me sing your name?
Oh, yes, I did. I heard that. All right. So now I want you to actually advise, like, how do I position myself to combat, since it's something I would like to do for long term. How do I position myself to start earning from it?
If there are plenty ways, but let me give you three simple ones. So if you
All
decide
right.
that, and I use examples so that it's easy for you to relate to. So first, I
Thank
don't know
you.
if you know Money Africa. Money
Yes,
Africa
I
started
do.
off as an individual, Tosin. And Tosin started off, she knew a lot about finance. And so she would share because the people she wanted to target were people who needed her services, people who not services, people who needed her advice but could not have afforded it because this babe had worked in CNBC, Bloomberg. She's not anybody's mate. So she has like she knows her stuff, right? If anything, her type of people are doing financial consultations for very rich people. But she was like, that's not who I want to talk to. I want to be able to talk to I want to be able to talk to everyday, not everyday people, but like millennials, right? To help them get their money life straight before they become like full blown rich 40-year-olds or 40-year-olds who are poor. Let me just catch them young and help them make better financial decisions. Now, somebody like Toasting, as she continued to grow, by the time she now decided to evolve into just being Money Africa, like beyond herself, she had already built a community. So she was consistently packing people into WhatsApp groups and training them there. So because those people were going in WhatsApp groups, they were now familiarizing with each other. And so it stopped being about Tosin. It became like Money Africa. Does that make sense? But she's still
Yes,
heavily part of it, right? So advantages of that is she's an influencer. So any financial company who wants to reach young people and sound serious, they will pay her money.
Yeah.
So meaning if you are an influencer in a way, what that means is any political anything that is going on is you they will call. Mogalo will say, oh, I want you to talk about me in so and so life. If you tell your people that I am great, they will believe that I am great.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make
all right.
sense?
Yes, it
So
does.
that's one way. So you just being an individual with a voice, and there are lots of people who love your voice and love your opinions and like how you teach them. They like how you tell them about politics, you know, how you educate them. And then that would now, owners would now follow you to not just be giving us news that already exists, but like telling us things about politics. How do they count our votes? How do they
Okay.
share? Do you get like sensible,
Yes, I do.
important information that you would demystify? Like, a lot of people do not know. A lot of people don't know how they count our votes. A lot of people don't know how our votes, you know, our voting system works. A lot of people don't understand how our catchment area system works. People don't understand how senators are chosen. We don't understand the job roles of a senator. Like when a senator is chosen, rather, what is that senator supposed to do? People don't know. People don't know who their local government chairmen are. Will you share local government chairman? Like maybe you could do like a local government chairman in Lagos, local government chairman in Abuja, like that, so that we can know. And then they're like, who are you supposed to be holding responsible? Or you could even teach us this is what a local government chairman is responsible for. This is what a senator is responsible for. This is what your president is responsible for. Explain like you're demystifying it in ways that are relatable. You know how budget, which is the second style that I wanted to talk to you about. So you know how budget political statistics, I started breaking it down, starting with budget, say like jokesha, but like breaking those things down and giving it to us in ways that we consume. That's another way. So you can now decide that, okay, I don't want to be an individual. I want to be a company, but a company, going to be a company, do you know what products you're going to be selling? Are you going to be selling data? Are you going to, like, what are you selling? You have to decide, what am I monetizing? Am I monetizing data? Am I monetizing ebooks? Am I monetizing workshops? What am I monetizing? Am I monetizing community? Maybe I'm going to have a WhatsApp group where people can come together and then would always like, is your goal to train people to become better politicians? Or again, see, you have to go home and research. What am I trying to do with this conversation? Mm-hmm. Are you trying to teach us how our government runs? Oh, you already know?
No, I get you. Like, I'm listening.
Oh, okay, yeah. So come back and tell us, like my people, I want people to be able to know better how government runs so that they can make better voting decisions. During voting period, you have to be very, very vocal. Say, go and vote, your voting counts, this is how your vote will count. If you don't vote, these are the things that would happen, you know? Or are you trying to help us become better leaders in the future? So you're going to be teaching me about things that I need to know when preparing for politics.
Yeah.
And those are two different target markets, two different conversations, and they would work differently. Also, you can be going live with government officials, people who know things in policies, under policies and politics, you know. Talk to those kind of people, go live with them, have seminars, webinars, all of those interesting things you can do with them. So that you can, Chudi and Adebola Williams. Your namesake. both of them wrote a book on how to win elections. Review it. Mm-hmm. Say your opinions about this, right? Invite Chudi and ask him, why did he believe in, like, your voice should be that strong. People should be tuning in to listen to you. Like, at some point, you should be able to get radio gigs. People should be able to say, oh, I want you to come on my radio show. I want you to have, like, you should be able to pitch to Ebony Life and say, I want to have a segment on your show where we're going to be discussing politics. You should be that controversial. So you can either go the individual way again, or the company way, or the final way you can go is anonymous. It's not the final, like my third option that I'm giving you for free is anonymous but community. So it's like, it's not only you, there are plenty of people. So we're never going to see your face, literally like Niger skinny girl. Nobody's ever, Niger single girl, thank you. Nobody's ever going to see your face. Nobody's ever going to know you. Nobody's going to know who they want to kill if they decide that it's kill that they want to kill you for being so vocal. Sorry, you won't die in Jesus' name. God will protect you. Oh, God. Thank you. So, but like, in case, like, you know, nobody's going to see you. Nobody's going to know. You can use cartoons. You can pull off not Lastisha, but, you know, you can use filters. And we know you for the filters, but you would always make commentaries about your identity will be a mystery. People would still know your handle, but they would never know who you are. And that would be your job. In fact, it is a very lonely road, to be honest, because politics is crazy, but you would build followers fast if you make sense. You will build community fast if you have very interesting opinions and interesting content, as per you're educating us well in ways that we understand. Not come and preach the same jargon our presidents and people are giving us. You know, don't give us news. We can get it from Guardian newspaper. If you can give us a very interesting perspective, Sha, you will grow. And then if you go, people are going to find you and want to give you money. People want to pay your flight. But it also depends on what financial goals do you have and where do you see yourself going, and then also go and check out people like Richard Quest, people like Aman Poor, people like, people who are already really doing this. Steph Busari, they're not doing it in a very political way already, but there are people like that. Malala, what are those people talking about? What are they doing? They're very interesting people that have political opinions and are known as political influences in different parts of the world. So go research them, decide how's it gonna go. Femi Falana, all those people, just research them, know what they stood for, research Fela, and you should be able to give us gist like that, like the political era of Fela and the things that Fela did that attacked politicians and the significance. You don't know. You don't know.
Wow, Blessing, thank you. I really appreciate this. Yes, and I'll put in the work. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I got you. When you blow, remember me. You'll just be like, Blessing was mine.
Don't worry about that. You're already a mentor.
No, I got you. Any more questions
Okay,
for
so,
me? I heard there were plenty of questions.
Yeah, so we still have, let me unmute Galaxy A10. Let me unmute you.
A Samsung person.
Yes. Are you with us? Can you hear me?
I don't answer questions from people who use Samsung. I'm loyal to Apple.
Are you there? Can you hear? Can please? What's happening?
God of Apple will not let it work. Toby has a question. Ooh, I'm sorry. Guys, this is actually how I am. I'm just playful for no good reason. Just accept me as I am.
Oh my God.
Okay, Toby.
Oh, and Zainab has a question. So after Toby, Zainab, please don't forget Zainab.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Adebola and Blessing. Like, oh my God, this is really, really enlightening. Okay, yeah. So I run a media startup, and then I decided to create just random content, just one of those things that will just pop on your mind. So I was like, okay, social media, okay, what story should I tell next? So so I run this with one particular person. So reached out to a few people. Okay, let's write note to younger self of people, post it on social media. Then we thought, okay, let's make it a book. Then we made it into a book. Okay, notes to younger self. So it's just something that was supposed to just put out. And then people actually really like it. And I'm like, okay, so I do not have a community. Like, it just happened. And then people just like the book. So I have other projects that I would like to work on. So I really do not know how to navigate this, because this is something unexpected that just happened. And then how am I supposed to work it? So it's also morphing into other things. I mean, the idea itself of the book and all. And it looks as if it's something that is going to be much more than what it is right now.
Do you want to give me an example of the things it's morphing into so I can answer you better?
Okay, so the note to younger self thing is morphing into something that may look like a community later on. So people are like, okay, they would need things that would help them and all those stuff, and then probably have.
Why is it not a community yet?
Personal. No, so what I'm saying is this: the community is just something from the book. So I'm like, that is not what I started out with, because I'm just like, I'm starting with a media startup that would like to make books, a transmedia startup that like to make books, videos, documentaries. I make documentaries and all too. So it's like, so a book is like coming to like, okay, taking the whole thing. Okay, I'm supposed to like do other stuff, yeah? So how do I marry things and then at the same time ensure that I'm marketing that particular book, and I'm just doing everything? I'm just very, very dazed right now. I don't know what to do.
I'm just excited that you asked me this, but the way I'm laughing everywhere is because you see this man here, can you see him?
Yeah.
This man, this guy here, the guy that wrote this book, him. All these things, all this marketing, the deep, everything started because he started a book company, a printing company. He just had a book company. It was book company that led to this is marketing. It was book company that led to Seth Godin in general, who he is, what he stands for, blah, 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 book company. You should go research him, actually. So when you ask me this question, I'm just like, let me tell you what the guy who we're reading about today, let me tell you what he did. Because I sat down and said, oh, this whole thing is morphing into a community. What do I do? Oh my God, I'm freaking out. Da, 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 da. Instead, he hugged this community and said, you know what? I'm going to understand you better and give you what you want. So this community that you have, what do they want? Can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. This community that I have, Notes to Younger Self, they're super interested. What parts of Notes to Younger Self are they interested in? Are they interested in the fact that they're able to look back and say, okay, these are the advice that I am giving myself. And so this is how I prefer that I would be better, blah, blah, blah. In fact, wait, another company that I love, Best Self Co, which is also something that you can marry. Best Self Co, they have a card company where they make different types of cards. Can you see it?
Okay. Yes, I
Yeah,
can.
they make different types of cards. This is the what self. Oh no, I should have shown you that one. This is the icebreaker deck to help you make better conversations, right? And so the reason why they do it is so you can, you know, have conversations with people, right? By just picking a card, because they are trying to teach people to build better habits. So based on your Notes to Younger Self, what have people learned about themselves? What do they want to change about themselves? What do they want to improve about themselves, right? These are questions you have to ask. You know, should you then do you want to create a journal? Am I breaking up?
No, I can hear you clearly.
Okay. So do you want to create a journal, a Notes to Younger Self journal, so people can always document things, you know, and, you know, advise themselves for their past or for their future, you know, and maybe when you read it in 5 years' time, every advice that you give yourself, you check whether is it relevant or is it not relevant. Do you want to create more conversations around habits, you know, building habits that would be beneficial to you? Maybe we noticed that most people had a lot of regret. Do you want to now start talking about dealing with regret? You know, like pick out the way you make decisions support is by evaluating, where am I now? What have I learned? What do these people need? How can I help them? Literally, so simple. It is that simple. We're always too don't think too much about this is what I wanted to do and hold too hard to it. There is not only one way to get things done. Some things can be married together. I don't know why you're still saying that you don't have a community, because the people who are rallying around you and having these conversations with you and probably liking the book, getting the book, you should be gathering them to one place. You know, that is community. Even if it's 5 people, even if it's 10 people, even if it's 15 people, gather them in one place. You know, you guys should talk. Maybe if when Corona is over, you guys can now start having Notes to Younger Self meetup, and you could make that a whole community of its own. These things morph. How do I explain? I'm not in the community. I don't know the full details of the things that are going on there. I don't know how you guys got there. So it would be very difficult for me to say, this is the next thing you have to do. However, just go back, pay attention to where you are now, pay attention to what people have identified as the things they've gotten out of it, and see how, if I was to make this another book, or if I was to make this another thing, what would it be? Would it be a productivity manual? Would it be a life hack manual? Would it be a card deck? Would it be a community building? Let's build each other. Let's even make it a letter company. Let's start writing notes to each other. Maybe we can now start a whole movement. Maybe from Notes to My Younger Self, we'll start writing notes to my best friend, notes to my unborn child, notes to my, and the main point about this younger self thing that I've noticed is every time people write notes to their younger self, I often hear a lot of regrets beyond growth. I hear a lot of regrets. So what are you going to do about that regret? Are you going to start AA sessions? Are you do you get, I can't say this is the next thing you have to do, but I'm saying what have you noticed? Based on those things you have noticed, it would give you a guiding path to what to do next. Does that help you? Does that in any way help you? Is it too much? Is it too small?
It's not. Oh my God, this is just so much. I really appreciate this.
Got you.
You're welcome to be.
Galaxy is back.
If you're in this community and you have not read Notes to Younger Self, you are not following the Instagram community, you are wrong. knows me. I'm telling you,
Oh, there's an Instagram page. I should go check it out.
yes, broad
Toby, DM me.
tails. Okay, Toby.
Toby, DM me my Instagram. Just DM me. Show me the community. Let me go and see what's happening there. You know.
Thank you so much.
I got you, girl.
Okay, so
Galaxy is back. Galaxy, where are you?
Can you? Okay.
He's muted. Galaxy.
Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, Galaxy. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon, Blessing.
Good afternoon. We can be friends, Shy.
Yeah.
Your name is a Samsung app.
Yeah, my name is Tim Dokwe. My name is Tim Dokwe Ojo.
Oh my God, hi Okwe. That's better for me, please. I can't deal with your Samsung betrayal.
Yeah, thank you very much. This session has been really, really insightful. Thanks for your time.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, I have a question, and my question is pertaining to one of the sections in the book. This is marketing. Where Seth Godin talked about. Seth Godin talked about. I think he said cheap is another way to say scared, and he went further to say low price is the last refuge of a marketer who has run out of generous ideas. Yeah, I don't know if anybody has talked about this because I joined about 45 minutes ago. But I just want to say a couple of things, and I want to hear your thoughts regarding it.
Tell me, I'm listening.
All right, so okay, all right, so lots of companies have been built on low prices. Sears, Walmart, and even Amazon. They did a whole lot. In terms of their marketing. And one of the things that they pushed out was everyday low prices, and I, to an extent, saw a lot of results from that because they were able to gain a lot of traction from that marketing tag everyday low prices. And are you there?
What do you want?
I'm listening. I'm completely listening.
Yeah. Okay. So you can cut me short at any point in time.
Oh no, you have to tell me everything. Tell me.
All right. So I'm just trying to understand where Seth Godin is coming from when he said low prices. Marketers who base their marketing campaign based on low prices have totally run out of generous ideas. So I do understand the fact that there are a million ways to get the emotional appeal of customers and your potential customers. But at the same time, that very line could be, I think, could be misleading, and I feel in a way it is totally discounting an idea that has worked over time, for several for several years, and it has been proven to work, especially in some certain industries. Low price, like I said, some companies have built their businesses on everyday low prices, and staying true to that for a long period of time. Walmart did it, yes, did it. So I feel it could be misleading if everyone takes that particular client and sinker without actually thinking it thoroughly, and giving it deep thought. Because
so I think I should read it out just so that people
okay.
who probably do not get that particular part or missed it,
Okay.
it's just 3 paragraphs, right? Unless you found an extraordinary way to deliver your service or product, racing to be the cheapest probably means that you are not investing sufficiently in change. When you're the cheapest, you're not promising change, you're promising the same but cheaper. The race to the bottom is tempting because nothing is easier to sell than cheaper. It requires no new calculations or deep thinking on your part or deep thinking on the part of your customer. It's not cultural or emotional. It's just simply cheaper. Low price is the last refuge of a marketer who has run out of generous ideas.
Yes. I agree with that. Well, even in those 3 paragraphs, I still feel there are some things to debate. There are some things that one could actually debate. Because now
okay, go ahead.
In an e-commerce business or a commerce business in general, it's actually staying true to low prices, means you have to innovate around a whole lot of things, supply chain, distribution, logistics, and so many things. And there are a lot of businesses, that might not be able to, do that. And if you actually, if you can actually innovate around those things, and you can stay true to that particular tag, that low prices, you'd eventually get customers who would be interested in what you do solely because of that, and I feel especially in a climate such as Nigeria or in a climate such as Africa, whereby our purchasing power is very, very low. I recently came across a research, where they talked about the consumer behavior in general, and the fact that especially the the FMCG industry as a case study, and they talked about the fact that the major thing that consumer, it was a very, very deep research, and it was very insightful. Talked about the fact that the major thing, like the most important thing people look out for, that is Nigerian consumers look out for whenever they want to buy groceries or products around the FMCG industry. The most important thing they look out for is pricing, low prices. And when they find something that offers the same service and it goes for a lower price, that they are totally in for that. So I'm just trying to
But
wrap
did you
my
read the
head
full book?
around.
Did you read the full book, or that was the only thing you picked? You read the full book?
I'm a huge fan of Seth Godin. I'm a
I know
very,
it's
very big
okay
fan
now.
of Seth
That's what I'm
Godin.
asking. Did you read the full book, or did you just read it in
Yeah,
part?
no. I didn't read the full book.
Okay.
But I'm
So
still reading it. I'm not yet through with it.
all right.
But
So it
I'm
says
not. I'm
something.
not. Okay.
All right, tell me. No. Like, I
Okay.
love arguments, right? Literally, I and my friend just had a conversation yesterday about Jesus, Jews, and Christianity, and he was like it was the most interesting conversation I've had in a while. We were on opposing sides, and we were still we're still friends. Do you get? We not become enemies because we had that conversation. So my point
Yes.
is, it's okay to disagree. I always love it when people disagree. It means you have a mind of your own. As I told you earlier, one of the ways that I started talking to Seth Godin was when he said something that I agreed with. And this is also a message to everybody. First things first, that you want to remember anywhere you go, no matter what, anytime, any day, is that you might listen to Oprah say something, and Oprah will say something that is entirely different, in fact, directly opposite to what Gary Vee will say.
Yes.
They are not wrong. The two of them are very correct, It's just the target audience for the conversation are probably different, right? So
Yes.
you always have to, there's a post that I have on my page that I think it's titled something you need to know, or something like that, right? Something like you need to know. The main point is,
Yes.
when you get an advice, you have to filter it and say,
Yes.
am I the target market for this particular paragraph? Like, is it for
Yes.
me?
Yes.
Does this
Yes.
apply to my goals? Like, where I'm
Yes.
trying to take my business to, is it in line with my goals? Then you ask yourself, are you like, does it apply to your context? What's the context that this person was talking about? Where was this person coming from? And does it apply to me? Then next you ask yourself, is this in line with my values? The things that I believe in and things that I stand for.
Yes.
Do they match? Like, this advice you're giving me, does it match? The two, as I said, the two might be correct, but it might apply to two different types of people, right? So
Yes.
I just want you to know that not every advice, no matter who is giving it to you, is correct. Say,
Yes.
does it apply to me? Is this advice for me? And then you filter, right? So now coming back to the conversation of what was Seth trying to say, and do
Yes.
I agree? You don't agree? Let's all find a middle ground. Okay, this is what I think.
Yes.
I think that first things first, Seth had already made it very clear before he got to this part of the book. He had already made it very clear that you need to find your smallest viable audience. Now, while you're still giving the example of Walmart, people are looking for things that are cheaper. There are many times that I've gone to Spa, right? And I see women shopping. And when they shop, they pick the more expensive one. I've even heard a conversation out loud. And I think I've even done it too. Where we look at something and we're like, this one that is cheaper. Maybe we've not seen any of the two brands before. And we're like, this one that is cheaper, is it better? Is it really good? Maybe it's not that good. No, I won't buy it. because like, do you get? And it's not because it's really better or worse. It's just that sometimes in markets like Spa, when you go to supermarkets like Spa, it just feels like the cheaper option is not necessarily the best option, you know. And sometimes the richer ones they used to even have extra level of packaging, so that maybe that's the better one because it's for richer people. So they will take time to make things for richer people better than they make for masses. So maybe we should buy the more expensive one. However, when you go to the market, your approach is different. In fact, if it's more expensive, they must be cheating you. And so when it's more expensive, you will flog it like this. You do it like this and try to destroy what the thing is. You know, whatever it is, like why are you trying to cheat me? And then price it even lower than the low that they already gave you. Do you get? So environment affects for sure, but also class and target market, which is what I'm saying. Target market matters a lot. I found out that Alakija does not spend anything less than 100,000 for just sewing the materials that she buys, because the materials that she buys are very, very expensive, and she'd rather pay 200,000 or 500,000 to the tailor who is going to sew it and not ruin the material that she has bought than pay a 5K tailor. Does that make sense? Because that 5K tailor might not be good enough to manage it. You know, might not be able to do it well. And it's not necessarily true. It just, again, depends on the target market that you are focused on. So if you're focusing on mass market, of course, like people like Walmart, ShopRite, those people are, in fact, even ShopRite is not even mass market enough. FMCGs, like you said, are trying to focus on mass market. So yes, they're still, and guess what though? Their competitors are also focusing on mass market. So it's now a race of, we've done everything else, but right now the only thing we can do to be competitive beyond everything else that we have done might be to reduce the price. And that's not necessarily, as he said, that's not necessarily like a creative decision. You could have probably partnered, maybe like Lacasera, and Lacasera was the same price as oh yes, this is a perfect example. So Coke was, I think, 100 naira, right? I mean 120. And then Big Cola came into the market, made this thing cheaper to be able to compete with Coke, right? So it was bigger, it was cheaper, which, as you see, is a very lazy strategy, because obviously for you to, the mass market that you're targeting, it will not, people like me will not buy Big Cola because it's cheaper, because I'm loyal to Coke, you know, but I can also afford to not buy Big Cola because I'm loyal to Coke. However, a bricklayer is trying to save his money. Our goals are different. So a bricklayer, if he sees that Big Cola is bigger than Coke and it's cheaper than Coke, he's going to go and buy Big Cola, right? So Big Cola did that, and they were competing on a massive scale. Like, they came and they took good market share. So obviously that wasn't like it wasn't creative. It wasn't like a creative choice. It's not that it's bad, but it's not creative. It's like anybody can decide that. Like, you don't even need a marketer to decide that the price should be cheaper. But did you see what Pepsi did? Pepsi came and did long throat. And long throat is not cheaper, but it is bigger. And then they did this whole campaign around it. The campaign was now in line with long throat, as per long throat now, as per. It was like a shade back at, and so it's not like, okay, I'd rather pay 100 naira and buy Pepsi than pay 80 naira and buy Big Cola because Pepsi is bigger. Coke could have been like, Otito is finished, you know, where do we go from here? But Coke now came with Mama di Mama, 200 naira, two people can share it, you know, like, in fact, it's a family drink, you know. But if you as a bricklayer say that it's Coca-Cola that you must drink, 200 naira, you can drink it 3 times. Do you get? So like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that if you are creative and you really call yourself the kind of marketer that Seth Godin refers to, because there are other types of marketers, you know. But the type of marketer that we're talking about in this book, This is Marketing, that we say marketers are change makers, not just people who sell products to just make money. People who are responsible for change of culture, change of ideas. Then you just going to say, oh, let's just make it cheaper so we can sell more. It's not necessarily a creative approach. Not that it won't work, not that it is bad, not that anything will happen, not that the world would end. It's just that you would not you will not make change. You only get people to buy your product, but you will not necessarily achieve making change. And you're not the kind of marketer that we're talking about. But again, as we said, understanding your audience, being creative about your thoughts, and truly, if you even pay attention, look at when Coke did Blessing on Coke, and did Okpe on Coke, and did Adebola. We didn't drink the Coke. My friend, I just went to her house last weekend. She still has the 7 bottles on her shelf display, because that is marketing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Do you get where he's coming from? Like, you're not wrong, and he's not wrong.
Yeah, okay.
You don't seem comfortable.
No. I'm actually convinced. I just wanted to be sure. I just want to know if that statement is absolute or if it is relative.
Oh no, it's very
just
relative.
what I wanted to know.
Cheap is really a way to say scared. It's just a way to say, oh, I'm too scared to try another marketing campaign. Because think about it though, long throat, they were not 100% sure that it was going to work. No, it was 100% sure that Mama the Mama would have worked. But if they had just reduced their price to 15 naira, Coke is now 15 naira, it will work. They might run at a loss.
But what if a great story was told around low prices? The fact that you're trying to help a certain group of people, trying to help them to make it living or something. That's
a better story. A better story is what Coke did with their Coke covers, right? So, because obviously if they halve their price now, it's going to affect their revenue. Even if prices might spike, but their revenue would be probably reduced, right? But so think about it like this. So Coke did this campaign where people from India or Pakistan could use the cover of made a particular telephone machine where if you buy a bottle of Coke after working, you can use the cover to go and make calls to your family, because other phone booths were more expensive and you'd have had to spend your wages to make those calls. But with the Coke cover, you could make longer calls, you could connect with your family, you could save money. There was no assurance that would have worked. There was no assurance that could have, but they were able to make it work, and that was a more compelling story than we're trying to help you save money, so half price, or we're trying to ensure that, because again, do you know that those healthy living people will come for Coke? It's like, you're trying to make a poisonous drink because it's poisonous.
Yes.
A poisonous drink cheaper. So you want to kill all.
Kill all of us.
Finish all. I think that's what you're trying to do. So you will not pay 1 naira now, drink Coke and now die. And I'll spend $1 million on treatment. Do you get? So so it's easy. Like, it's really, I can see if I come out now and I say I'm doing branding 1,000 naira. People will rush, but I would die because I would be hungry and I will not make it in life because I sold myself short. So I'd rather focus on my 5 people who will pay, which I will sweat like this to get, who will pay me 500,000 naira. I will sweat but they will pay me the 500,000 and I'll do only 5. The time that I'm not sweating, I'm sleeping.
Chilling.
My life, I'm chilling. I'm not angry. Life is good. But these 5 people pay me 500K. I just 2.5 million naira just like that. I'm not saying that's what I'm earning now, but like just like that, I'll just sleep. I will live life la vida loca, as opposed to 1,000 naira, 100 people, and I will still not make 100K.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. That was a very, very insightful conversation.
I got you.
Thank you, Tope.
Move to the Apple Life. Move to the Apple Life. Move to the Apple Life. Stop rapping Samsung. If you need Zainab, where are you? Zainab, hope Zainab hasn't left me. Zainab,
okay,
oh my God,
so let me mute Zainab so that she can ask a question.
Hey.
Zainab, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Hello, Blessing.
I'm fine, thank
Okay,
you.
Zainab.
Hi. Yeah, it's been so nice hearing you. Thank you so much for coming on board.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Over
so
excited.
my I'm kind of on the same page with Uju, like not knowing how to sell what you do yet and blah blah. So I got a thing or two from what you told her. So but then my another major issue I have is niching down. So I know that it's quite important to niche, right? To have a specific thing you are known for, or like specificity is key. Yeah, I know that. You've also mentioned that. Now the thing is, I recently just started like honing my skills, like my writing skills. Then and I've also been using my IG page to do a lot of writing. But then the thing is, I enjoy writing anything, anyhow. Like so there's this fear of niching down, like not being able to write anything I want, anytime I want. I don't know if you
Keep talking, Zainab. I can hear you.
yeah. I don't know if you understand my point. So there's this fear of niching
100%.
yeah, there's this fear of niching down. There's just this. I always enjoy this. There's this vibe that I just enjoy writing anything anyhow. Just bring it on. Let me think about it. Let me write about it.
Do you make money
So
from writing?
I just started making money like gradually. I just started like I've never even thought of making money. Like I just started out writing. When I started dropping my little content on IG, I started getting feedback from friends that so you write, so you do this, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? So that's just the little stuff that the little gigs I've been getting, nothing so serious. So now my major thing now is it really so is niching the only way? Must I niche down?
Well, to be honest, you mustn't. But
Hello?
again, you can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah. So I said you mustn't. Why? You don't have to niche down, but you also have to be ready to not make money. No, making money is not the only. No, think about it. Now, is it by force? Like you don't have to make money, but again, there isn't only one way to do things, right? And I think that a lot of people have the wrong idea of what niching down is. Just like a lot of people are scared to have a target audience. So when I tell people that you need to have a target audience, what I end up seeing is everybody's like, oh no, and what about this old woman? I mean, this old woman will not buy my product. Can you hear me? I used to be me.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I
So it's
can.
like,
Yeah, I am
so
you.
it's like I sell water, for example. Now, if I sell water and everybody drinks water, so babies will drink water, mothers will drink water. So why are you limiting me? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how they feel. That's what they think. But guess what? A 6-month-old baby is not gonna trek into
You're
a
sure.
store and buy
Buy your
water.
water.
Ever in this life, a 6-month-old baby is not gonna like your picture, except the baby mistakenly match the mother's phone. Am I lying?
No.
Yeah, I'm lying,
No.
or better, because I wanted to know now where's the lie. So like that's never gonna happen. An old woman, an 80-year-old woman, is going to drink water, but she's not probably, except she's rich, she's not going to go and spend money on 1,000 naira water.
Mm.
An old
Mm-hmm.
woman in the village, so you have to come back and ask yourself, who needs my product, can pay for it,
Mm-hmm.
I can pay for it again.
Yeah.
Mm.
Because if the person pays for it once, okay, that's nice. But would that person pay again? Would they refer their friends? Would they refer people like them so that I can keep making money even if, do you understand? Like those are the kind of
Yeah.
people that you call a target market. It means that if you spend your time talking to those people, I know you asked me about niching, but I'm getting there. If you spend the time talking to those people, they will be able to multiply for you. The other people who are younger will aspire to be them. The other people who are older would wish they were them and will probably still buy, but just not, they're not going to buy as much as the main people that you're facing and targeting. You know, I also gave the example of me, I need private jet, but the fact that I need it is not proof that, in fact, a better example, a lot of us think we're the target market for iPhone, but a lot of people are not. The target market of iPhone are the people who can buy iPhone, then next year upgrade their iPhone without shaking their body, without feeling like they need to starve and not drink Gary for like jigger. They don't have to do that because they can easily, and then if their phone breaks and spoils, they'll go back again and buy another iPhone, because that's the meaning of a target market. So same thing literally applies to niching. It means that if you focus on a sector, a small sect, right, of people who are your people, the people that you say, these are the people I'm talking to, it means you'll be focused. You won't, it doesn't mean that you cannot write other things, write it, but you don't have to come and loud it and tell us that what you're writing. You know, you can create a different page for it, like you're writing for leisure. You see how I told you that Instagram is not where I eat my daily bread from. So I can decide to post my picture dancing. I can decide to dance on my Instagram. I can dance anyhow I like. You know, you can't beat me. I can say I'm not posting content for the next 1 month. You can't beat me. And I'll still be full, you know, I'll be okay. Yeah. There was a day someone called me and said, Blessing, you're so knowledgeable about the startup scene. Come and be the MC at Nigerian Stock Exchange. I went, I MC'd the event, finished it, added tips and tricks for the startup. They came to meet me, they came to know me. I didn't post that was any MC of me, never. After that, they called me separately to come and speak. When I was not there to speak, that's when I posted it. I said, oh, spoke at Nigerian Stock Exchange. Why didn't I post about the MC thing? Is it that I could not do it? Of course I could do it, but I don't want people to start reaching out to me and telling me, come on, MC for me. I'm not an MC. I go, hello, what are we doing here? I can talk, I can gist, you know, but I'm not an MC. So I don't want you to come and I don't want you to get the wrong impression that this is how I need to eat, so come and disturb my life. No, that's not how it's gonna work. So you can do a lot of things that give you joy and do them in the comfort of your house without necessarily talking about them. And can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so you can do a lot of things in the comfort of your home, in the comfort of another Instagram page, in the comfort of your jotter, and write about those things. You are very clear that those things may not appeal to your target audience, so there's no need to stress yourself, right? But if you have not, you sound like you're still trying to master what exactly works for you and figure out who exactly do I want to talk to.
Exactly.
So since you are in that phase, I can feel it. I can feel it. If you are in that phase, you can. So one of the first things I want you to remember is that you cannot niche down. It's like filtering. You can't filter an empty bucket.
Okay.
You have to have the mix, the things that you want to filter. You have to have it, all of them mixing together. Then you now filter that, say, okay, this is the one out of the things that I want to now focus on. So how are you going to figure out what to niche down to? Because it's niche down. It's down, like your niche is like from a segment of plenty. You're now trying to decide which particular one do I want to focus on. I have a whole post on niching down for multi-talented people. So go and read it first. And then also remember that at this point that you are in life, where you're still trying to figure things out, you're young. I mean, do as many things as you want to do. Write as many things as you want to write. If you're tired of writing, dance, jog, you know, become a bricklayer, become a painter, paint, do everything, become a farmer, you know, try a lot of things. Then now, after like a year, you can now review and say, okay, I've tried plenty things for 1 year now. So which one is my skill? Which one am I knowledgeable about? Which one do people ask me a lot of questions about? Which one helps me connect with people? Which one is giving me the most money? Which one are people showing that they need the most? And which one are people willing to pay for? Does that make sense? So don't
Yeah,
stress
yeah.
yourself. Don't have to do
Yeah.
that. Well, also go and read the post on Nation. I think it's going to
Yeah,
help
I'll do
you.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Thank
niching, you're
you.
not the target market for the topic of niching down. You're not yet the target market for the topic of niching down. So don't stress yourself.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
No, hello.
And I understand why Zainab might feel the need to niche down. Bukumi and I were having a
Why?
conversation weeks back. In the writing world, in the business writing world now, people are very specific. For someone that wants to start monetizing writing, they might start to feel like they do not belong. Bukumi and I were talking about how I would see adverts like business business content writers, so people that can write business content or financial development or financial independence um, content writers. So people are now beginning to very specific with the kind of writers that they bring on their project. So I understand the need because I'm a writer. So I mean, Bukumi and I threw this conversation all out for like almost an hour. And we're talking about how we need to start finding our niche. We can't just keep doing, let's just keep writing whatever comes our way. It's time to actually like start niching down, and a lot of factors affect it. But just like you said, as a beginner, you write. I wrote correspondence when I didn't know what correspondence means.
Exactly. I see where you are now. Do you get? So I
I
think just
wrote
tell
press
yourself
release.
that.
So yeah, as
Just
the
tell
more
yourself for
you
the next 6
gather,
months that
yeah,
these 6 months I'm dedicating it into learning anything and everything about writing. Trying different writing styles to see which ones appeal to me and which, because there's